La 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 la, wait till I get my money right.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Quantum Ascend. I have Kaspa up on the screen. This is the 1 month chart. Just made it a little bit easier to look at this. I mean, this thing's pretty much been up only up until last summer. So, looking good here. One thing I am going to chart out is all this. We see our first 5 waves for a 1. We had an ABC there for a 2. We have our next 5 waves here for a 3, came back down for a 4, and right now we are working on a macro 5, and we're looking at waves 3, 4, and 5 today. So pretty clean. You see where this came down to back test right here. Wave 4 came down on top of wave 1. That is absolutely textbook. So beautiful there. And now we're just looking to get off into our new highs here. So let's talk about what's going on here for Cass on waves 3, 4, and 5. Before we do that, guys, join the Quantum Circle. 2 daily macro videos, entries, exit strategy, a private Discord. That's where the real alpha is. It doesn't matter what coin you're holding. It all comes down to the macro. So link to that in the bio. We also have a huge Kaspa following over there in the Quantum Circle. So this thing is definitely talked about daily, and we'll make sure that we keep it in rotation for alt season. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw it down from wave 1 to wave 2, see if we close this range out. Sure enough, we did. So we've already popped above the 4236 there. Right now, you can see came back down, kind of found some support on top of the 1618, at least the monthly closes before it bounced. So we don't have to worry about that range anymore at this point. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be focusing on what we have going on this last drop here. From the high there to the low there, boom, sure enough, we see a full extension of that range. We get us up here around 71.5 cents. All right, a couple other ways we can kind of look at this, when it comes to what are we going to do here for this third wave, which is technically what we're in right now. It's been lame, it's been boring, but we do still have some juice, and I'm telling you, this thing's going to get running here pretty quick. So what I'm going to do is typically we go up to the 1618. All right, on this, we either get up to this high and then reject and, come down for a wave 4, or we'll go above it, retail buys because it breaks into a new all-time high, and then, of course, it gets knocked back and retail sells the bottom, and then it pops off again. You understand how the whole thing goes. But that's retail, people. Us on X, on Twitter right now, you are YouTube, you're retail. So we got to be careful here. All right, typically in this fourth wave drawdown, going to be looking at anywhere from like a 35 to 50%. Cass has a $2.3 billion cap, pretty big size cap. So we're going to be closer to that 35% on that drawdown. So from the 1618 back to that last local high, right there at about 32%. We drop a little bit lower here at the 786. You're closer to 43%. So the first area of interest we're going to look, we'll say right here at that former all-time high. And again, we'll be able to tell based on where this wave 3 actually stops out, because we are doing this weeks, months ahead of time, right? It'd be lovely for us to get a big green candle like that pops us right up there before we chill and then go again. But something's coming, guys. It's brewing. But technically speaking, up there, back down to here. And then I'm looking at this, and there's no reason to think that, there's not a possibility that Kaspa gets back up here to about 72 cents, 71.5 cents. You're going to have retail screaming about how Kaspa is going to $1. But we know better. That's not happening here. One other thing I'm looking at, take it with a grain of salt. Let's see, this is my first time doing it, but I draw that line off these top 2 wicks here. Connect those. Just wanted to see if we had an intersection up here. It's a little bit higher. But for now, this is what I'm looking at, guys. And from a wave count perspective, let's see, that would make your wave 1 150%. Wave 3 is usually the strongest. That puts us at 400% or a 5x. This fifth wave in this drawdown situation, 250% or a 3.5x. All right, so waves 1 and 5, more similar in length. Wave 3 is the longest. Where we're at right now for Cass, guys, this would be an 8.3x, okay? And at a $2.2 billion market cap, you're talking 17, 18 billion total market cap for Kaspa. and it does set a new high. Not every coin is going to set a new high, but we do have a macro fifth that we're in the middle of. And I'm telling you, this is how we're looking for the time being. So we'll come back and check in on it, figure out where this third wave does decide to stop out. But for the time being, all we can do is use fibs, use Elliott waves, and see past price action to figure out where we're going. So that's what we have for CAS, guys. Oops, that's my wedding. Oops. Like I said, join the Quantum Circle, real-time trades, access to my portfolio, 2 macro videos every day at Discord. I teach you guys how to do TA just like me. Link to that in the bio. If not, just super appreciative you guys are here. If you could follow, like, repost, I want to reach as many people as I can before it's too late. So thanks, guys. I'll talk to you.